Welcome to Major League Nutrition, the place where professional athletes come to get advice on how to up their game. I'm your host, Nicole Chenard. I'm an award-winning registered dietitian with a master's degree in nutrition and fitness and a bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics. I'm a performance nutrition educator and consultant at the professional athlete level, and I work with the most amazing clinicians, educators, chefs, and game changers in Boston who specialize in healthy lifestyle, food, medicine, nutrition, sports, coaching, and behavior change research. I've successfully coached thousands of clients to get to their health and fitness goals, including weight loss, weight gain, energy, metabolism, supplement use, drug-induced nutrient depletions, travel, getting to their PR, marathon training, emotional eating. Understanding calorie needs are different for pitchers than they are for hitters, endurance versus strength, meal planning, technology to help with tracking, myth-busting exercise and nutrition information, handling positive and negative social cues, and not letting their own thoughts get in the way of their success. The weekly episodes in this podcast are here to bring you a combination of educational interviews with the most fascinating experts I know in health, fitness, and sport, as well as science-backed, real answers to your nutrition, health, and fitness questions. The Major League Nutrition Show is free to listen to and can be found on any app that supports podcasts. The best compliment you can give to the show is to let others know about it, subscribe, and send your own questions, including sponsorship requests, to majorleaguenutritionllc@gmail.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Major League Nutrition. For even more information, you can always visit majorleaguenutrition.com. On today's episode, I interview Hilery Hutchinson, a very well-known health and fitness expert and entrepreneur in the Boston area, New York City, and now El Salvador. She helps people heal the past so they can embody the highest version of themselves, find peace of mind, greater vitality, and build the life they truly desire. She started her career as a fitness instructor. That's how I met her, actually. She taught me how to be a fitness instructor a long time ago. And although she was living an incredibly healthy lifestyle, she suddenly fell severely ill. For years, she thought this was purely a physical struggle, but she continued getting worse no matter what she did to help. It wasn't until she started to address her past and heal her inner child that her physical body was able to heal too. She always said her health crisis would be worth it if she could help others with what she learned along the way. She's got about 58 certifications, yoga, fitness, stretching, Ayurveda medicine with food and everything. She's super dynamic in that she can learn it all and teach it all and put it all together for you. She never imagined she would learn more about the mind and spirit than the physical body. And now as a spiritual life coach and retreat owner, she helps clients heal their past and find balance in their mind, body, and spirit. And she's always amazed at the beautiful transformations and the power of coaching. And she truly feels grateful that she gets to do this for a living and is honored to be guiding all of you today. And me too. I learned a lot from speaking to her, so much so that I needed to make our discussion into 2 episodes. So lucky you get 2 episodes with Hilery Hutchinson, and all of her contact info is going to be in the show notes. So stay tuned and learn and maybe even start to heal. Hey everyone, thanks for waiting. Here's part 2 of my interview with Hilery Hutchinson.
tell us about your retreat center? I think this is fascinating, and I was looking at your website and it just looks so relaxing.
Yes, I know. We actually have a good sized family here right now. There's 12 people, and they were just telling me like how lovely it is. And they're like, it's just so peaceful and calm. And he's like, we're actually laughing all the time, but we're so relaxed, you probably can't hear us. So we have a 5-bedroom retreat center that's on a private beach. So when you go out to the beach, you don't see any other people. You're just there by
Oh,
yourself, pretty much. There are some other houses on the beach, but the people in El Salvador don't really go to their beach houses. So we generally only see people on New Year's and Easter. And other than that, the beach is like totally quiet.
that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's really, yeah, it's hot here though, and most of them live in San Salvador, which is about 45 minutes away, and the because it's so much higher in elevation, it's about
Mhm.
10 to 15 degrees cooler than it is here. So
Oh,
they
that must
just
be nice.
like to stay in their cool climate and don't come down to the beach.
So
And then
that's
we
what,
also,
80 degrees because it's 95 where you are?
yeah, it's usually 90, generally 90 at least every day. It depends on the season.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's 93 and sometimes it's 88. Um,
In the
but
zone.
it is always nice and warm here. It only rains at night here in the rainy season. So that's actually really nice. The weather never interferes with your plans. Um, we have 5 bedrooms here, and then we're also managing the house next door, which is another house that's 6 bedrooms.
Ooh.
So sometimes we do big retreats. We have one in February that we're using both properties for. So there's multiple options, and we really do specialized retreats. So everything we do is customized. Roberto's a great chef, and so he customizes the menu to exactly what your food preferences, allergies, all of that stuff is. And then there's so much to see in El Salvador that, activity wise, we like to see they have everything they need to have a good time. They just need to sit on a call with us for about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many people are in the group,
Yeah.
and what are the food preferences and allergies. What is your life like at home? So we get an idea of stress levels and things like that. Are there any injuries, health problems? What kind of wellness services do you want? Do you want any healing work? Or I do cacao ceremonies and fire ceremonies and
Ooh.
different things like that. There's just kind of like getting a good idea of what they're looking for. And then most people don't even care. They don't even care what the plan is. They just show up and we have everything planned for them so that they can just lay back, relax, and know that they're going to be taken care of and have a good time. So,
Can you tell just by looking at someone what they might need help with?
uh, generally, I mean, there's a lot I can tell about a person through like Ayurveda. With that, you're looking at people's like the elements that make them up, so you can kind of see what might be out of balance for them and how to
Yeah.
nurture them better.
How do you figure that out?
Um,
I really don't know much about it, but I've always known that it could be really helpful.
It was really the best idea to get the total picture of it. But generally, what I do to look at people, the
Interesting.
tiny bone structure tends to be vata, medium bone structure is pitta, and the big bone structure is kapha. So vata is air, pitta is fire, kapha is earth. So it's kind of
Can you
like
give me
it becomes very
exactly
logical.
examples of
Yeah, so
those?
so somebody that's like really well known kapha is Oprah Winfrey. She's the
Okay.
earth type. So she's got a big bone structure, right?
Hmm.
She has more like wavy hair. She has really big round features,
Hmm.
oily skin. The tone of her voice sounds like she has more earth in her, right? They usually have
Right.
like a
It's very
deeper,
feminine.
a boisterous voice. I also look at hands, the big lumberjack hands. So she's the earth, kapha.
Kapha. Okay.
So with them, like their downfall when they're out of balance is lethargy. They get lazy.
Okay.
They're very
It's hard to picture
cons-
Oprah lazy.
I would consider them like a bear in their den and they don't want to come out. They get like stubborn. They just want to eat like heavy foods, fried foods, creamy dairy foods.
Yeah.
So it's like they need more stimulation.
And is that good for them to hibernate and have creamy foods?
No, they really shouldn't eat those at all. It's
Okay.
always going to throw off their system. They really need more spicy foods and like light foods. They need to eat basically like what the air types shouldn't eat because they need more air moving through them. They need the circulation, right? Like you think about anything that's moving, there's air helping it move. Yeah, they want to eat lighter things that aren't going to weigh them down and cause extra earth elements to come in. They are really creatures of habit. So it's hard to get them to step outside their routine. I have a client that's like pure kapha. He lives right next to he lives next to the Arboretum in Boston. He never goes. And I'm always
Really?
like,
Oh, it's so
dude,
nice.
you live across the street. Like, go for a walk. Just get outside in nature and like go for a walk and like, you know, but that would just be like so outside his daily routine that he won't go do it. So
Wow.
it's hard to get them to step outside their comfort zone even more than anybody else. So
What
those
would
are
the
the
opposite of
types.
that be?
The vata, the air type. So the
Okay.
air, I always call them the airheads because if they're out of balance, they're like, I don't know where my keys are. I don't know what I'm doing. Where am I going? What's going on? Like they're all over the place. But on the good side of that, like they can change plans in the flip of a coin, you know, like the winds change and they're like, oh no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this instead. And you're like, wait, what?
Oh my God.
So it's kind of nice. It can be fun to be with them because they are like easily adaptable. They tend to be more creative. They have thin bone structure. They usually have like sharper features. They're really made of air and space, so their skin tends to be dry. Like they have to moisturize. Hair's dry, nails dry and brittle. They would tend towards constipation. Because there's no water, right? So everything's just drying out. It's not a heavy influence in their body. So
do they need to seek out more hydrating foods?
yeah, and for them it's really about grounding them back down to earth. So they want to eat root vegetables, they want to eat stews and roasted vegetables, soups. Roberto is a vata, and I mean it's 90 degrees here, and he's making soup like 3 meals a day. I'm like, oh my God, so hot. Yeah. So they really like their soups, and our daily activities can throw us off on this stuff too. So when you travel, when you're up in an airplane, where are you in? Air. You're literally flying through the air. And so it takes you all off course. And that when you land is another time you should have a soup. We always have these elements at play. You guys are, well, the Northeast is in Vata season right now, fall turning into winter. Leaves are drying up, the winds are picking up, you know, right? So we have these elements outside of us and inside of us. So it's always about like finding what's out of balance and trying to bring it into balance. So with them, they're just so flighty that it's like, okay, how do we ground you down? And so
it's kind of like everyone has a piece of each aspect, but
yeah, but a
they have
dominant
more
one.
dominant features
Yeah.
most of
Yeah.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay,
like
what are the other ones?
I'm the fire. So
Uh-huh.
I am pitta. So pittas tend to have medium bone frame. They can hold muscle really easily. They have like usually red hair, or what also happens, they get premature gray or bald because there's so much fire. It literally eats the color and then eats the hair.
Wow.
So they tend to either be redhead, really early gray, or bald. They tend to have like light eyes, and it's a mixture of fire and water. So if you really think about it, it's steam. So they tend to not need to moisturize. Their skin's like always kind of fine, but their issues are they tend to have more inflammation in their body because it's fire, right? So
Well, how do you calm that?
Cooling foods, raw
Cool.
foods, so smoothies, shakes, salads, juices, anything that's a more cooling element. So like even if you lived in a cold climate and you're a pitta, you could still have hot tea, but you use something like mint or fennel that's very cooling. So there's always like different, melons are cooling, and we have different spices that are cooling too. So it's
Yeah.
about kind of trying to figure out what that is for them. But yeah, I'm all about my healing journey. My doctors, my acupuncturists, my nutritionists, everybody was trying to get me to eat cooked foods, and I was like so against it, but I did it for a while and it just made me so much worse. And I
Too
was
much
like,
fire.
okay, I have too much fire, guys. Like I
You
don't
cool
feel
off.
good eating this. It's not for me. So and then in human design, it supported that. My digestion is for cold foods. So it says in the human design system, it tells me not to eat foods warmer than my body temperature. So both
That's so
systems back it
interesting.
up. So I'm like, but it makes such a difference. And, each season, like summer is pitta season. What does everyone naturally do? They naturally eat more fruit, right? More salads, more smoothies. Who wants to have smoothies in the winter time? Not many people, unless you're living in
I
a
do.
pitta environment. If you're living in a pitta environment like Florida, then you still want smoothies, right?
I mean, I don't care what day it is. I want an iced coffee. And, and people, for some reason, think that's weird. And I'm like, you don't drink hot water in the wintertime, right? You don't go, oh, I need to heat up my water to drink it. You would drink it cold. So why would that be any different with coffee, in my
Coffee,
opinion?
yeah.
I want to drink it right now is my thing.
Makes
Right? I
sense.
like to drink it with a straw so I don't spill it on myself. And because I'm a multitasker.
And the fiery types aren't supposed to have caffeine or alcohol because they're both warming, stimulating things.
Well, we all need a little bit of something, right?
It's all about balance, right? Like I
It's
always
all about balance.
follow like the 80-20 rule and like just stick
Yeah.
to what you should do 80% of the time and have that freedom to do what makes you happy 20%.
I know. And I always tell my clients, I'm like, okay, alcohol doesn't help you with anything except maybe saying hi to someone who you were afraid to say hi to. But other than
Liquid
that,
courage.
yeah, liquid courage. Other than that, physiologically or athletically, it literally helps nothing. It only causes chaos. But if you want a recommendation, it's tequila. I think I've said that before. Only because, it tends to be pretty pure. This is not a tequila commercial, by the way. But it doesn't affect the blood sugar as much and it doesn't taste great. So it's not something you would just suck down really fast. And
Yeah.
that's my goal is if I'm going to have some alcohol, it needs to be slow and steady because apparently what you're telling me is I shouldn't be having it at all.
Probably not.
Probably not. I agree.
Well, I mean, and I would say so the pitta's inflammation, too much heat, so they don't get constipated, they get diarrhea. And
It
I
can go
find
either way.
most people with alcohol end up not being constipated after. It's the opposite. So that can be an indicator that if drinking alcohol is making you have hot symptoms afterwards, then it's probably a sign that your body really doesn't want it. I mean, it doesn't want it anyways, but it
Yeah.
can be fun. So it's like, yeah, just honoring. It's all about kind of tuning into your body and like all the subtle cues it's trying to give you, because Ayurveda is more about preventing disease. I mean, it can reverse disease, but it's about preventing it. And if you keep your body in balance, then you don't have the accumulation that happens that starts to fester and then turns into disease later on. So Ayurveda has like 7 stages of disease, and in their system they say, you know, like an American doctor won't know until like stage 4 or 5, and
Oh,
then at
that's
that point it's too late.
yeah.
So it's like, you know, so they're all about focused on like keeping the body in balance based on your lifestyle, because even sports, if you're a pitta, you really shouldn't be running in the middle of the day when the sun's at its peak,
Oh, that's
because
so
it's just
accurate. I
right.
avoid the middle of the day like the plague for any
Yeah,
activity. I'm like, nope, 10 to
you
2,
know better,
it's not
right?
happening. Yeah.
And so for that's so funny you said that. From 10 to 2 is pitta time.
What does that mean?
So on the clock at the time of day that we're in different phases. For 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is pitta hours, and 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is pitta hours, which is why at night, what time do you wake up to pee? 2 a.m. Because the pitta fire has digested everything and metabolized it, and now it's done.
Oh,
And
I'm gonna
so
have to check my
2
Oura ring.
2 2 a.m. is like usually the bathroom break of the night if people have to go. And then from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. is the vata hours, the air, and 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So that's why they say like your creative time should be in the afternoon to evening, is like when you shouldn't be as structured. You should just kind of go with the flow more. I think people are
Yes.
naturally right like that, right? You get hit
Yeah.
that midday 2 p.m. and you're just kind of like losing motivation. Well, you're now an airhead and you just don't have the focus. And so
I
in the
accept that.
morning, they say if 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the kapha, the earth hours, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. earth hours. What are you doing at night? Settling down, grounding
Hmm.
down, getting lazy, right?
Yeah.
Getting into sleep mode. And in the
Watching yoga.
morning, if you don't wake up by 6 a.m., to get up between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. is going to be much harder because Earth's elements are at their heaviest. So it can make you more sluggish. So in
That's weird.
Ayurveda, they really encourage you to get up by 6 a.m. because after that, it's going to be harder just with the Earth's energy.
Wait, is that for a pitta or
No, that's everyone. This
ever?
is
Oh, I think
this is way like the clock works for everybody.
6
So
a.m. And that kind of aligns with cortisol.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
So it's all interconnected. All these systems tend to support each other's philosophies. You know, it's just different lens to look at it through.
Yeah, I feel those shifts or energies, I should say, more and more lately. Like in the morning, I notice I really like to get work done and I'm into it. But then in the afternoon, I'm like, I really just want to go outside.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be something active, but there has to be a shift of my environment of some sort. Um, and and it's not really a big meal time for me either. I've noticed eating in the middle of the day, I don't like doing it. It's not that I'm a meal skipper, obviously, but there's something about the energy. I'm kind of a I'd rather eat lunch at 2. It's that's funny now. I'm
Yeah.
realizing right off the bat, I'm like, no, I don't really want to eat until 2. And and then again at 6.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's
So
crazy.
yeah, it's one of those things that like that's why I think like so many of my clients, like once they understand it, they end up loving it. And it's like you end up nurturing people in the way, because once you like know what they are, like I know it's funny, like my best friend is vata, Roberto's vata, so I'm generally surrounded by a lot of airhead energy. And so, if I know she's coming over, then I'm gonna have something warm for her to eat. And like
Oh,
one day
that's so great. I love
she
that.
came over and we went for a walk, and it started getting really windy, which is going to just make their vata go even more overboard. So I was like, I think we should turn around now. We went back home, and like I made her a big soup and like got her like settled back down. And it's like, I don't tell anybody I'm doing this stuff, but it's just like, you're just able to nurture people in a way that's truly beneficial for them. So and you know
I
how
love
to
that.
work with them in different ways, like I even helped Roberto. He was doing sales. He was working for Audi. And so I started teaching him Ayurveda to help him meet his clients better,
Yeah.
because he's such an airheads talk really, really fast because they,
Mhm.
like there's just too much wind going through them. And so if he meets up with like a kapha, they're going to be put off with how fast he's talking, right? And
Mhm.
he's going to be annoyed by how slow they're talking. So I was like, okay, these are the signs and cues to pick up on, and like this is what will like make them feel really good. So it's a cool system. There's so much you can do with it.
It sounds like it. So where would you recommend someone like me? Is there a book I can learn from that you like?
I feel like, trying to think, Deepak Chopra is like probably the most well-known Ayurvedic influence, but I didn't read a lot of my learning came from living at a yoga ashram for a year. We'd have
Mhm.
guest speakers all the time. So I learned so much from workshops. And then in my Thai massage training, it's actually part of Thai yoga massage, because you're able to customize a massage based on somebody's Ayurvedic constitution,
What?
so that you're touching them in a way that's actually going to resonate with them better. And then
Give
you
me an
can like
example.
actually do like, so like um pitta, I'll go with the fiery types, because that's what we are, is
Okay.
like they're gonna like a more medium. They're medium, everything's medium. They talk in a medium pace, they move at a medium pace, they're medium bone structure. So it's better to go medium pressure. Now pittas are very type A, so they're gonna be the no pain no gain, like go, just go in deep. And it's like, no, I know that's what you want, but that's not what you need.
Right.
So
Less is
but if
more.
but if you went really slow, you're gonna drive them insane, because they're just gonna be
Yeah.
like, "Oh my God, like, can you come on,
Because
I'm
then your mind will
waiting."
start racing and you're going, what are
Yeah,
you doing? What's happening?
yeah.
Where is
So
this headed?
then the fire is like getting impatient, right? Where
Fireball.
a kapha, the earth type, wants you to touch them slowly, but that's going to put them even more into sleepy time. So you actually need to be a little faster with them. And the air types, you really want to go slow and like try to ground them down. And so Thai yoga massages different yoga positions that you're massaging them in. And so there's different yoga positions for each type. So you can customize the massage in a few different ways, just on what positions you're putting them in.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna look that up because I love getting massages.
Yeah. Thai
And
massage is great because it's like you do it with your clothes on, you're on a mat, it takes like the
mhm,
awkwardness out of it. And because you're getting stretched and massaged in the stretch, it's really resolving issues much better than a traditional like Swedish or deep tissue massage,
right, because you're
because
moving.
you need the flexibility and mobility. And it's like,
Mhm.
this is putting your joints in different positions. So you're literally getting massaged at a lot more angles and areas than you would just laying flat on a table.
Which is, I think, how you should get X-rayed as well in different
Oh, yeah.
positions.
Yeah, totally. It doesn't make any sense to just
Just as a sidebar.
like,
Makes no sense to be X-rayed in the position that you weren't injured in or don't feel the
yeah. And they
pain.
really shouldn't even do it laying down. You should be standing,
Yeah, I've done
at
massages.
least, because when are you experiencing pain? Only when you're laying down flat?
No,
No.
that's usually the least amount of pain.
Right? So it's like, why don't you x-ray me like in the actual position that causes pain so we could see?
Okay, so I'm definitely gonna look up Ayurveda now. I've heard about it before from other yogis, and I knew in the back of my mind I should get into it, but I think now is the time, and I'm good with that. I wanted just ask you a little bit more about your retreat. And first of all, you said you wouldn't have been there, or you wouldn't be there now if it wasn't safe. So how does one initiate coming to your retreat? What is it called?
El Salvador retreat.
Okay, straightforward.
So yeah. Well, at first we tried to name it Travel to Find Yourself, and we found it just way too complicated and confusing.
Many words, yeah.
We switched it over to El Salvador Retreat. So that's the website too. And yeah, it's really just contacting us and exploring. Like, we can just jump on a call, you can just email us back and forth, whatever works best, and making sure the dates you want we have available, and then figuring out what you want. And just because you call doesn't mean you have to commit. So if you're just kind of curious and want to chat, like, we're always happy to chat with people and see. But yeah, it's so safe here. Like, it's kind of funny, like, everything you read online is just, you realize how much the news is twisted and altered once you
yeah, even about certain parts of Boston or Florida. I'm like, okay, we've all heard of Florida Man and how ridiculous he is, or they are, but there's ridiculous people absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
It just sounds funnier, I think, to say Florida Man did this. But if it was like Boston Man, there's that Instagram account Only in Boston, and I follow it, and I laugh every day because it's like Sturo Drive, no matter what, on, what is it, September 1st, they say, don't bring your moving truck down
the
Sturo Drive.
U-Hauls.
Every year, more than one person demolishes their truck on Sturo Drive. So it doesn't matter where you are. Every place has Florida men. It's just funnier when there's alligators involved.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's alligators here.
Yeah.
I've only seen one. But
they don't want to be seen. This is so great. I'm glad you found your happy place. That makes me happy knowing that, because I know personally that I have felt drastically different in different environments and countries. And I know I have a French name. It's the only time I've been to France, I felt so at home. I don't know how to explain what that feeling is, but I just felt like this is where it just felt so familiar. And that might sound cliche, but I'm so excited to go back there at some point and feel that again. And I've been to places and felt like I really shouldn't be here.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that about Texas. Every time I've gone to Texas, I'm like, I don't like this energy here. Like, it's just, it's not, no. It's just such a strong, this isn't my place. So
well, it depends on the part of Texas. You'd probably like Austin, but you might not like the border.
No, there's just something. Like, I used to work for the San Antonio Spurs, and I was in San Antonio and I was in Austin. I did their Thai massage. And I had to fly to Houston a couple months ago, and I spent like a few days there, and I just had the same energy everywhere. It's just like, it's too brown. It's like vibe. It feels very soulless to me. There's something weird about the energy there. But that's just for me, like, everyone's different. So
that's a good point.
We all vibrate at different frequencies. So we're all, attracted to different areas.
I'm curious as to know why you would feel that way, and, why I feel good or bad in different places. But I feel like that would take weeks to figure out at least. But
there's an element of that in human design.
oh,
It tells you if you're meant for like shores, mountains, valleys, caves, kitchens,
caves.
markets. No, it's not. It doesn't mean literally in a cave, but just
Right.
smaller spaces. But yeah, Roberto is a mountain person and I am a valley person. So
And you get both in El Salvador.
yeah, that's the great thing. Like it's such a small country. It's the same size as Massachusetts. And you know, from here, if we drive an hour and a half that way, we're in with the monkeys and the alligators and like an estuary. If we drive an hour a different way, we're up in the volcanoes and the rainforest and waterfalls. We drive 45 minutes, we're in a major city, like down in a valley.
You have it all.
So we really have it all here. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why we like it so much, because Roberto and I love going on adventures. So it's nice to just be able to go on a short drive and be in like a totally different area with lots to see and do. We have a lot of fun.
So are there any, you know, for people thinking now I need to go on this retreat with Hilery and Roberto, are there any customs that Americans should be aware of that they, you know, are different? Or you mentioned
I'm laughing because the first thing that came to my mind is that like all the guys pee on the side of the road here, which I find like the president's like lecturing people now. I think they're just going to start fining them for doing that, but like it is super common here.
Yeah, because people are going to slip off the road and break their ankles. So their left ankle, their right ankles.
Yeah, that's a strange custom. The currency here is Bitcoin or the US dollar, so that's great that you don't have to exchange any money to come. You just need your regular. Yeah, you just need your passport. There's no COVID or vaccine requirements. Everything's pretty normal. Yeah, it's done and over with. Yeah, there's not much to know. There's definitely different foods here. They have this thing called pupusas that they're really well known for.
Oh yeah, what's a pupusa? In case someone doesn't know, somewhat of an elote, but different.
Yeah, they'll put whatever inside. They put meat and veggies and different things inside of them. And they can be made out of rice or corn. So
both are gluten-free naturally.
Yeah, I mean the country's a pretty gluten-free place, honestly. Yeah. It's a lot of corn and sugarcane, normal veggies, lots of tropical fruits that are always changing, and fruits that you can't generally even buy. Like you just have to find wild. Like we have 2 cashew trees. And so like
I've always wanted to see a cashew tree.
Yeah, when our cashew fruits are blooming, like I mean, we just have so many. I mean, Bodhi loves them. My dog eats them all the time. Like
really,
he's always eating them. But like they're just falling from the trees in such a large amount that like we can't even keep up with them. And you can't buy them at the fruit stands. So it's I mean, you can buy cashews, but you can't buy the fruit. It's yeah, it's fun. There's always different fruits, and even like different parts of the country, they really don't travel with their produce. So up in the mountains, they grow different fruits than we have down at the beach. And so if you want those fruits, you literally have to go up to the mountains. They won't. I am like intrigued by the fact that they don't drive them like an hour away to fruit stands to sell more.
Well, you're an entrepreneur.
They don't.
I see another business for you.
I don't need any more.
Or maybe someone who comes on your retreat is looking to create a side hustle or
yeah. That's actually what's really cool down here is that like it doesn't take a lot. It's really about sweat equity to get things started here, and it's not a super expensive place to be. And so it's been a lot of fun to be here for a year and see like even the locals, like how they just had like a tiny little shack and now they have like a full-blown restaurant, because it's just like people just slowly build, and
Mm.
there's no real like permits or regulations needed. So they literally set
You
up a
just
shack on the side of
do
the
life.
road. And then like as they get more money, they'll buy chickens, and then they'll have eggs, and then they'll have cows, and like it's fun to like see people blossom and grow. There's a lot of opportunity here to do different things. And there's a pretty good expat community here of like Americans living here. And
Right,
because
you
of
said,
Bitcoin, a lot of people, like our next door neighbors, are from Naples. They just moved here
yeah.
a couple months ago. And that's been really fun because they're doing a lot of like community involvement improvement projects. So it's been nice to
Oh,
be able
that's
to
great.
team up with them and try to help the stray dogs, and
Yeah.
do all the good-hearted things to help lift up the community and support people. So we have
Well,
a beach cleanup tomorrow to help with the beach, and we're doing another one as a retreat the first weekend in December. We're having a huge like beach cleanup retreat all weekend long where all the sea turtles come to nest. And so we are constantly releasing baby sea turtles. We released them yesterday.
oh, I know
And
someone who wants to witness that.
it's so cool. Like now they come up on the beach in like the middle of the day, so you get to watch the whole like birthing process and burying the
Oh,
eggs and everything. And then we have a turtle rescue project on the beach, so we actually dig up the eggs and then bury them in a safe space so they won't get
oh,
eaten. And then we release them. They take 45 days to hatch. It's like clockwork. They literally come out in 45 days. I put it on
that's
my
amazing.
calendar.
It's turtle o'clock.
And each turtle lays about 100 eggs. So
100?
yeah,
What?
yeah. The
And how
last
many of them
one,
you usually make it?
well, most of them make it to birth, but it's only 1 in 1,000 that survive as like once they're put into the sea. So
Wow.
when we release them, we like give them names and we start cheering them on.
Oh,
Like giving them as much
well,
goodness as we can to like
Tortuga
encourage them.
party.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We love it, but it is like a special thing that we love to have for our guests to be able to, because there's only like 2 months a year that the turtles aren't nesting.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
That's so much to look forward to. So okay, so I want to make sure everyone knows how to find you and how to
Yes.
sign up for your
So
or a retreat. You can create your own basically. So
yeah, you're really
what's the best way?
creating your own. Just go to our website, www.elsalvadorretreat.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, same handles, El Salvador Retreat. And yeah, you can just send us a message and we're happy to chat. You can book stuff online too. So if you just want to like book a room and do your own thing on the property, you can do that. We kind of offer things as either package or a la carte, or people can just rent the property and do their own thing without us. So it's really customized,
Freedom.
exactly what you want.
Love it. I will link Hilary's website and contact info in the show notes. She also has a website, healingwithhilary.com, and it's spelled Hilery. I'm so excited. I'm glad we reconnected at this time. I feel like it was the right time. I've been non-creepily watching you on Facebook over the years. How many years has it even been? I don't know.
I think it's been like 20 years.
No,
No?
maybe 15.
Yeah.
Something like that. Pretty close, yeah. But I think this is the second conversation of many to come between us, and because we have so much in common, the stuff we don't have in common is the best parts.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hillary, and say hi
You're
to
welcome.
Roberto for me. I haven't met him yet.
Okay.
Tell he's really great.
He
And
is.
say hi to your neighbors from Naples. And
Yeah.
I'll put this all together so everyone can find you. And I hope you have a great weekend.
Awesome. You too. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, if you know me at all, you know I love to start my day with strong, good quality, organic coffee. I'm a big iced coffee drinker.
Mainly because of 2 reasons. 1, I don't like to wait for things, and 2, there's no way I'm letting my coffee stain my teeth. Therefore, I have to give a shout out to Alice, the creator of my new favorite straw, Sipify. We met in the Boston Businesswomen Inner Circle group and clicked instantly. Basically, she wrote to the group about her new product, the Sipify straw, a straw that you can safely drink hot or cool beverages with, that's made of stainless steel and food-safe silicone. I told her I thought her product was not only helpful to prevent yellow teeth. The main reason she invented this straw was actually to solve her problem of whitening her teeth at the dentist and then wanting to drink hot, not iced coffee afterward, which didn't make sense. She needed a straw for that. Alice told me her dentist suggested she switch to iced coffee so she could drink it with a straw and prevent staining her teeth. But she likes her coffee hot, and you can't put a regular straw in a hot drink. Ugh. So what's a girl to do? She literally invented a straw. This woman is amazing. The Sipify straw not only prevents stains, but it cools hot beverages just a bit as you sip, so you can sip comfortably. Since I got my Sipify, it's my favorite way to drink coffee. The sleek blue straw is easy to clean and to travel with because it comes with a cleaning tool and case to maximize efficiency. So you can just tuck it all right in. And it's especially shaped to fit into the sip hole of a to-go lid, which is perfect for people like me who know they're going to dribble coffee all over your white work shirt in the car when you tilt your head back to take a sip. I've done that so many times, but with Sipify, there's no need to tilt your head back and lose your vision of the road while driving, so it's safe too. And no more spilling when you're drinking on the go in general. You could be walking around. One more very cool thing about Sipify, they also donate Sipify straws to people living with Parkinson's. These people often drink exclusively from straws, and now thanks to Sipify, people with swallowing issues can drink hot coffee and tea again. As a medical professional, this melts my heart because another amazing benefit is the possibility of Sipify straws decreasing chances of aspirating. The unique design of the straw lets you finally control the amount of liquid and the velocity of each sip, making it easier for people with swallowing issues to drink safely. If you're interested in purchasing a Sipify straw for yourself or for a loved one, hey, why not use it to prevent tea stains while drinking red wine too? They come in a 2-pack, 1 regular size and 1 travel size, and the cleaning device. You can buy your straws by heading over to sipify.me. That's SIPIFY.me, and enter code Nicole, NICOLE, to get 10% off your entire purchase at checkout today. You've just listened to the Major League Nutrition Podcast with your host, Nicole. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Check out our next episode by subscribing now so you'll get the updates. And as always, visit us at majorleaguenutrition.com and follow us at Major League Nutrition on Instagram.